Hello students, myself is Karuna Gupta. Welcome to my channel. Well, CBSE has announced for practical exams and I know all of you are very anxious. You want to perform your best for the practical exam? Well, through this video, I have come up with the do's and don'ts for your day of exam, and also I have tried to jot down a few important questions that will help you through the Viva part. As we all know that practical exams are very important. As per CBSE norms, you have to pass out the both theory as well as practical exams individually. So here are some key points for your day of exam. The first and foremost, you need to prepare well beforehand. Secondly, you should know each and every concept of your practical and project files. Please go through that very detailed manner. The third important point, be confident. At the same time, stay calm. Make eye contact with your examiner, listen carefully, and don't rush to answer. Answer it in a very composed manner. At the same time, keep in mind you do not have to argue with the examiner. Next, be in proper school uniform and in a presentable manner. Your hair should be neatly done. You do not have to look shabby. Last but not the least, students, do not sit quiet. Do not act dumb. Even if you do not know the exact answer, try to speak whatever you know best about the question being asked. So here are some frequently asked questions from your project file. Well, generally your examiner is going to start the Viva from your project file. The first question that is being asked, tell me something about your project. So students, about this particular question, you need to prepare a good introduction about your specific project. You must learn it by heart. It can be approximately like 30 seconds to 1 minute of explanation about the functional details of your project. The next important question, the examiner may ask you about the front end and back end. Well, generally, as in class 12, your front end is going to be the programming language, that is Python nowadays, and the back end can be MySQL, or you may use the binary files or CSV files to store your data. The next important question that can be asked is about your database or how many tables you have used. You may be asked to name the tables as well. So this again has to be specific to your project. Please be very careful. You cannot fumble on this. You cannot answer it wrongly. If you have used binary files or CSV files, in that case also names of the files must be on tips of your mind. After this, the examiner may ask you about the difference between text and binary files, or maybe between binary and CSV files. So you need to apply aptly that a text file is storing the data in form of alphabets, digits and other symbols, but it is storing the ASCII values in a human readable format, right? Whereas the binary file, it contains a sequence of bytes which are not in human readable. You can try opening the binary files that you've created for your project. You'll get it very clear, right? CSV files, we all know these are common separated values, generally separated by a comma. These files can be stored in a spreadsheet like Excel or in Notepad as well. Then the examiner can ask you about the different file processing modes. What are the different modes how you can process a file? For this you have read mode, write mode, append mode. You can use R plus and W plus for read write both. This goes about the text file. For binary files, it can be RB for read, WB for write, AB for append, and similarly RB plus, WB plus for read and write both. Next, the examiner can ask you about various functions for working with a file, like maybe function for opening a file. You can tell the function name is open. It has two parameters, file name and the mode that you want to open it. You can be asked about the various reading functions, that is read n, where you are reading only the n bytes from a file. Read line, which is reading a single line at a time. Obviously, it needs to be used in a loop. Then you also have the read lines function, which means the entire contents of file are read as a list of each line, right? You could be asked about the functions for writing into a file, that is the write and write line function. The examiner may also ask you about working with binary files. So you need to tell them the load function is used to read and then the dump function is used to write into the file. Students, you also must take care of the proper syntax and all the parameters for working with these functions. Next important question could be the usage of with statement. So this you have to tell the examiner that this statement is used to open a file, process the data, and also close the file without explicitly calling a close method. If your project is based on Python and MySQL connectivity, the examiner can ask you about the connect method of MySQL.connector. You need to explain that this method is used to create a connection with MySQL database, and then you will also talk about all the four parameters, that is the host name, username, password, and the database name. You could also be asked about the functionality of cursor object, how it is to be used. Then you have to answer that it lets you execute all the queries. Remember, the queries are passed to the database using the cursor object only. So students, these are some of the questions. Like there can be any number of questions, like each examiner is different. So very obviously the frame of mind, the state of mind that they are when discussing your project with you could also be different. I strongly recommend that you go through these two chapters, the file handling and the Python MySQL connectivity, in complete detail. Once you are able to impress your examiner about the working of your project, more than half the work is done. It is not at all difficult to score a complete 30 on 30. The examiners can also ask you about your project or maybe about the practical file, whether you've done it yourself. Very obviously, you have to reply in a confident yes. But that also means that you also need to explain. It cannot go unexplained and just saying yes, then very obviously the examiner makes out. Alright, then the examiner, by seeing your practical file, can ask you about the various sequence constructs. At this point, you can tell the examiner that these are the set of statements or the type of programs which are executed in a serial manner. That is one command after the other in exactly the same way as they are written. The execution is similar. If the examiner is asking you about the selection construct, you need to explain that there are selection constructs possible in Python with the help of if, elif and else statements. Very obviously, these constructs are based on the test conditions. So if the test is true, the if part is executed. If the test evaluates to false, the else part is executed. You could also be asked to explain iteration or what is looping. So there you have to tell that it is a repetition of a set of statements until a particular condition remains true. So as soon as the condition becomes false, you exit out of the loop. You could be asked about infinite loop. So that you have to tell that it is a never-ending loop that keeps on executing because the test condition will always evaluate to true. You also need to be careful about the loop control elements, like where you are initializing the variables, whatever is the test condition, the loop body or the set of statements which are being repeated, and the update expression. How is for loop different from while loop? This is a very frequently asked question. For this you have to answer that for loop is used in situation where number of iterations are fixed. You know that in advance. Whereas the while loop can be used in variable number of iterations. Another important question that is explicit to Python, the else statements with Python loops. You need to be very clear, like if statement has a else, loops also have a else part. But the loop else part is only executed when your loop is not terminated by a break. That means it terminates its natural course of action. Only then the loop else part is executed. You could be asked about the definition of a function. The examiner might ask you, define a function. What do you mean by a function? For that, you should answer that these functions are named group of instructions. So there are the group of instructions and you are giving all these instructions with a particular name, and that name is the function name, right? So how are these functions helpful? They provide reusability of code and they also provide modularity to a program. One complex task is being divided into smaller, logical, understandable tasks. That is modularity. You could be asked about the syntax for defining a function. You should be able to elaborate it on a piece of paper. Then, what are the various modules in a Python? A module should be defined as an object with arbitrarily named attributes that you can bind or reference. Or simply you can say that a module is a file consisting of Python code which may have functions, classes and certain variables. What all modules you have used? So you can tell all the modules that you have used during your curriculum in classes 11th and 12th. That is random module, pickle, CSV, mysql.connector, mysqldb, matplot. Whatever you have used in whatever extent that you can explain. The examiner might also ask you what are packages. So you can explain that a package is a collection of related modules in directories that give a package hierarchy. How can you use an existing module? A very important question. Simple answer, by using the import statement. At the top of your program, you write import followed by the name of module, and its entire functionality comes into your program. Now there are some simpler questions. There might be some general questions that are asked in Python, like what is IDLE? So this you can explain that IDLE is an integrated development learning environment. It can be used to execute a single command just like shell, or also to create the Python scripts. The examiner might also ask you two modes of working. You should answer interactive and script mode. That's very simple. You have done this in class 11. Various assignment statements, like there are multiple assignments used in this particular statement, a comma c comma d. So the values are assigned in corresponding manner. A is given the value 1, b is given the value 2, c as the value 3, or maybe d as the value 4. You can also assign a common value to multiple variables, like if I write a equal to b equal to 0. This means both the variables a and b, they are assigned the same value, that is 0. You might be asked about the data types in Python. What are the primitive data types? So the primitive data types in Python: numbers, strings, list, tuple, dictionary. You could be asked about the single quoted, double quoted and triple quoted strings as well. For this you can answer that a double quoted string can have a single quote or an apostrophe as one of the characters inside that. Like if I want to give something like Rohan's with an apostrophe, I need to enclose it in a double quotes, or otherwise I can escape it with a backslash character. Remember, you have some special characters that can be denoted with a backslash, like backslash n, that stands for a new line, or maybe a backslash t, that stands for a tab character. For triple quoted strings, you can say that they are used generally for multi-line strings. You could be asked questions about various operators, generally what are confusing to the students, so they are frequently asked: the divide, integer division and the modulus operator. You could explain that with the help of examples as well. The examiner might also ask you questions on string, tuple, dictionaries and string list. For this, I strongly recommend you go through the first chapter, that is review of Python basics, whatever you have done in class 11. So these are simple concepts. You have done that all during the class 11th and 12th. It is not at all difficult. You can score a perfect 30 on 30. I'm saying that again. The only thing, stay calm, stay positive, try to recollect and try to study hard before that. Prepare well in advance. That is the key. So very obviously, if you are prepared, you'll not feel that nervousness. After that, the examiner might ask you some of the questions from MySQL, that is the database. One of the favorite questions, difference between SQL and MySQL. To this, you need to answer that MySQL is a RDBMS, that is, it is an application package, whereas SQL is a query language. It is one of the components of all the RDBMS, right? You could ask difference between where and having clause. For this, you need to answer that where clause is used to filter the records at the record level, whereas the having clause is used to filter the groups. That means you can use the having clause only with the group by. Next, you could be asked to explain difference between delete and drop. The delete command is used to delete either one or multiple records, or maybe all the records if the where clause is not present. But then the table remains there in the memory. The structure is there even if I delete all the records. The drop table command, on the other hand, will delete the table structure as well. How can you add a record or maybe add a column? For this, you need to answer addition of record using the insert command. Please remember the syntax for all these commands: insert, update, delete, alter. And for the alter command, you could use that for addition of a column, or maybe for dropping a column, addition of constraints, dropping of constraints as well. So that is it, where I have explained the next question as well. Alter table is used for making the structural changes. Update is used to change the data value. Like for example, if in a table EMP you want to change the salary for all the employees, update is to be used here. Then you could be asked about various constraints. Constraints, you can say, are simply the data validation rules. When enforced, they will not allow the inappropriate values or the invalid values to be put inside your SQL tables. You have various constraints like primary key, you have not null, you have default constraints, you have foreign key, you have check constraint as well, right? Please keep all that in mind. So that is it, student, for now. Although there could be more questions from the conversation that you strike with your examiner, so keep preparing. Nothing can stop you. All the very best.